Alright, look at my beauties. And I'm gonna pull these guys out so that tomorrow morning I can work out and we can do the comparison of the GX versus Montero. We're gonna come to the Eastern European scientific corner and we're gonna compare specifically it's an 06 GX470 and an 01 Montero XLS, so we're comparing apples to apples. And we'll go, so I did like top 3 for me, what my benefits are versus, or what are the kind of the best parts about the two trucks are. So GX470, power, I mean, there's no denying it. It's a V8, it's 2UZ engine, one of the best engines ever made, versus either 3.5 or 3.8 if you get the 306 models. They're better, more power on the Montero on the 3.8s, but it's still not going to be the 4.7 V8. Both have timing belts, so the same kind of maintenance with the water pump every X amount of miles. So that's pretty much apples to apples. But GX, the biggest thing is power. Montero, the biggest thing is price. They're significantly cheaper to get into, but generally a lot less miles. I mean, on average, you're looking for a non-rusty GX will run you, what, 10 grand for 200,000 mile one, versus Montero will be, they have gone up in price, but it's a little bit less now. So, you know, you can kind of see what the ads are for these days. Mine is, I bought it for what, 3,700 bucks with 123,000 miles for an 01. The GX was just about 12 for an 06 with 173,000 miles. So there's a pretty significant difference now. Granted, one was a year ago and the other one was about 5 now. Damn, time flies. But anyways, reliability for the GX, both at this point, there's a caveat. They're pushing 20 years old plus minus, so all those trucks are going to be old. You might get a GX that's rusted out if you didn't do your homework and it's going to fall apart on you, versus the Montero might be, you know, you get a good example from like Doc Martin or somebody like that that's already been gone over with it, and you'll end up having a reliable one. But generally, as an overall rule, reliability will be GX. And with that being said, the ease of finding shops, the ease of finding people who will do a good job on a Toyota. Every time I take the Montero, it's something else might pop up. I just had the AC work done and now there's a valve that's stuck in the dash or something like that. So now the dash has to come up because the compressor basically can't run. But again, this one's a bit hit or miss. Generally also, Lexuses will run, you'll have more well-maintained examples rather than the Monteros, because most of those, it's a little bit like buying a 10, 15-year-old Beamer, Merc, or Infiniti. They're going to be more clapped out, so, you know, the price is lower, but you also might have to do some, if you're a mechanic yourself, there's definitely, Montero will have a lot more option for it. Montero has definitely space, especially in the rear, because where you have once you remove the third row, there's just giant big hole in there so that you can put a bunch of your off-road or whatever stuff you want. And the tire is already on the rear, so you don't have to spend all that money. So that goes back into like the price. You can hang the tire right out the back door. You don't need to do any supporting mods. Here with the Bison, you'll need at least like a $600 to $1,000, some kind of rear tire carrier, drill holes, rerun, backup camera, all that kind of jazz. All right, let's look at this door. And no. First the Montero. Boom. And it stays open like a proper door. And then space-wise, of course, you got that big space in the back there that houses the third row seats. Oops. And then you got the same kind of crappy, whatever these things are called, but you got one cup holder, well, one armrest, two armrest, and then one and two glove boxes. So nice to have all that space. In the GX, that same crappy one. Get your arm, whatever this thing. Although I do have the CD removed, and so I've stored some crap there. But now with the extra cup holders, so I got two, and two more there. And this thing, honestly, I don't mind this at all. I like this because you can just fit a big water bottle right behind you and it doesn't stick up all over. So not really a problem for me, but the rear, you got your spare underneath. So once we kind of hear, just floor, there's nothing there. But I mean, once you get like molly panels on, mine is about to arrive for here and all kinds of stuff. They're both about the same, honestly. It's not bad. So for me, a big one is dual climate. I'm always hot. My wife is always cold. So that's basically the main reason why, because you can see I have more benefits to the Montero, but it's that dual climate for me, the power and the reliability. Those three outweigh just about any cons. And so gotta have it. Montero does not have it. Closing vents kind of works, but it's just not the same. And at this point in my life, I'd rather be comfortable than not. So Montero definitely would have beefiness on it. So from the 9.5, the rear diff here is 9.5 inches versus the GX470, though we have a solid rear, we'll get to it, and the back is a benefit. The 8-inch axle does blow up all the time on folks, and they upgrade to the 8.2, which is again an expensive swap to do. Montero runs 9.5 inches in the rear. The lower control arms are beefier because it's direct competitor to Patrol and Land Cruiser versus the GX is a Land Cruiser Prado, so it's a little bit less kind of like robust. So inherently Montero is just going to take a lot of beating. So Android CarPlay on the Montero, you can move the controls down underneath the HVAC and then install a double DIN radio, get your CarPlay, get whatever you want. So it's a little easy. You'll have to run the backup camera, but that's pretty much what everybody has to do on the GX as well if they're upgrading the units. The cool part with the Montero, you can just screw in one of these rails straight for like, I mean, they're like $10, $12, and then get all your doodads attachments versus the GX. You have to buy like panels and stuff. It has the cassette tape, which in the Montero has been removed. So you have to look for non-nav if you want to easily upgrade. Though they do have units for the top now, but I do have the Cross Industries off-road rack here, so I got all my attachment. I might put the CarPlay here. I do have a unit mostly for the dash, and of course the new steering wheel here makes the cabin look a lot newer. And I do love the 67 mounts here, so I just plug my phone in, run the wire, and so I actually don't really use this. My wife uses that a bit. Mods and parts, definitely easy on the GX. That being said though, there's a good market now for the Montero. You can get your lifts, you can get your bumpers, you can get anything you kind of want, molly panels, but it's definitely not as robust as the GX. You can find used parts for the GX a bit easier. Like I found my lift kit with 5 tires and 5 wheels last year for $1,200, so that's what I'm running, although I did upgrade the wheels. And so from 4Runners and GXs, since a lot of parts are compatible and people upgrade all the time and the community is a bit larger, so generally you'll have more parts availability. Solid rear on the GX, but it comes with the downside of the diff might blow. You put 35s on and people blow those diffs all the time. So with that being said, it's kind of you can do the long travel and stuff like that, but you will have to spend more money. And then rarity, the Montero is definitely more rare. If you want attention of dudes from South America and stuff like that, that's the car to have. You will get all kinds of, hey man, my parents, so I used to drive in Nicaragua and whatever, so if you're into that kind of attention, people will be like, oh, that's a Pajero. It's just much more rare. So I just went to Texas, New Mexico, and Colorado to see where we want to move to in a couple of years. And you see 4Runners like 4Runner, Subaru. GXs, I've seen a few, but they're less rare. So for me, like that's kind of a perfect blend of enough reliability, enough support and everything, but not as commonplace as 4Runners and Subarus and Tacos and all that kind of stuff. So you can be a little pinkies out, but without dealing with the potential Montero just being Montero. Noise, vibration, handling. The GX is definitely quieter inside. It's also more modern by 5 years, so it's just one of those things like not really that big of a deal. but on a longer drive. That being said, though, the seats are definitely better in the Montero, and it's going to fit for a better person. The seat jackers and all that stuff in the GXs is a common place where people just complain about it. I don't have a problem with it, but I've seen enough comments about it, people wanting to upgrade seats and this and that. Junkyards, I found more Monteros in the junkyard. Granted, I live now kind of in Georgia and wasn't really looking for GXs as much, but I've had more luck with Montero parts, and I've upgraded a lot of parts for dirt cheap. I've swapped the entire interior from tan to black and gray. I've got all kinds of random stuff. I don't remember, like, and my brother also got me the super rare bull bar in the front, so. But that's also kind of part of the joke, is that's the Montero lifestyle for you. You might end up being a bit of a junkyard diver, and so, you know, not necessarily a benefit to some. 16-inch wheels, cheaper, better sidewall, more available, but that's one kind of marginal. 17s are plentiful and cheap as well, so it's but a little bit, if you're into Dakar history, if you want to nerd out on that, people do. That's one of those big things for the Montero. But part of it reminds me, like when I just went to Albuquerque and Rio Rancho, because we strongly considered moving there, like all the pictures usually at sunrise and sunset, same kind of with El Paso. But that's because during the day it's just 50 shades of brown and just dry and dust and everything everywhere. So it's one of those things where, like, yeah, history is important, but also, like, Colorado, for example, just offers more throughout the day. Yeah, it'll be more expensive, but would I rather spend more money if I have it? Rear door is a big one. This one auto locks in place and is not a pain in the butt. This one people modify, but not a big deal. With the solid rear and the mud sparks kind of thing, well, more like with the mud sparks on the GX, long range America fuel tank, so you can get the spare tire out, put a long range tank on it. Montero, because it already has that empty space in the back for storage, you're not going to have that ability. But again, that long range is a couple of grand, if not more. And so, again, everything with the GX kind of comes into money, because by the time you're like, okay, I need a bumper, sliders, rear tire, rear door, and stuff like that, you immediately like, hey, here's $5 grand, let's go. So it's just generally more expensive. And then that's about that. I gotta say one thing though, community's been fantastic in both. I'm part of both now, and it's been enjoyable. Not a problem at all. I see less posts of what's the biggest tire size you can fit without a lift in the GX community though. But overall, all have been supportive. Being more a little bit like enthusiast community, and Forerunners, like, everybody just gets it. For you kind of need to know about the GX and you need to know about the Montero a little bit more. And so I think through that research, it brings communities that are a little bit less cookie cutter, that people kind of more discerning as far as what they want and what they need. And so, yeah. And now I'm going to go shoot some B-roll of both. One thing too, so the GX will have an air intake kind of right there in the fender, versus the Montero initially has it kind of here. Obviously I'm running the snorkel now, so this way you have a little less chance of hydro locking the Montero. The GX is notorious for that if you start putting bigger tires on and not run the snorkel. But if you're going to spend several grand on 35s and whatnot, might as well spend at least $120 on that snorkel and not have that problem to begin with, which I probably will sooner than later. All right, well, I probably forgot something, but thanks again for tuning in for another episode of Eastern European Customs, and great success. I'll see you guys later.